We're going to be going down to the library this morning for the first period. So we're going to go down and we're going to meet, all of the grades are going to meet together. And Miss Nichols is going to talk to everyone just to check in where you are in your project. The engagement level of my students is very high because they've had choice over what they are interested in. We have many students who continue to pursue their ideas even though the end date has passed, but they still have questions that they want to advance. And that's really something that is very empowering and exciting to see that students want to keep going.
A child only needs one caring relationship with an adult to change their trajectory. And it is my responsibility to make sure that I've done everything I can to either be that adult or to facilitate the other adults in my building to be that person for that child. And we may never know the impact that we have on these students because it may not be this year, it may not be next year, it may not be for 10 years. But I know in my heart that it is making a difference to these students, and to me that is the essence and the beauty of what I do each day. People are surprised when I speak to relationships with students because often the principal gets really caught up in the management of the school, and there are so many different facets to running a school that as a principal it's a real challenge to be able to focus on those relationships. But it has to be, if this is where you want to go with it, it has to be your number one priority, and you have to recognize that each and every day when you walk in the building. This is very exciting because a month ago we gathered in this spot to begin our journey of innovation. And as you recall, at that time we talked about the opportunity you were going to have to redesign a place in Toronto, a place of your choosing and a design that you would choose. If you recall, we started this whole thing by looking at the why. You chose a space in Toronto that you felt needed to be redeveloped, and you looked at why. Why does it need to be redeveloped? Does it have poor accessibility? Is it not sustainable? Is it not being used? Is it no longer appropriate for the community that it served? And then we started thinking about the what if. What if we did this? What if we changed this? And that's the stage that you're at right now. You're in the big what if stage. I know that as impatient as you are, you might be wanting to cut through the middle, one straight line up through the middle. Here's the problem. Here's what I think the answer is. Let's just do a straight line up the middle. Why spend time going out and back in again? But it's the process by which you're gathering up information from around the world that you'll be able to come back and pick the absolute best design. And as you know from all the interest you've been generating from people outside in the community, the design that you chose, the design that you are going to choose, you might see come to fruition years from now. You hopefully have your math teacher, you've got your art teacher, you've got your homeroom teachers, and they're going to be coming around and helping you no matter what stage you're at in the process. Okay, so if you have a laptop, you can find a spot for you to work. If not, you can get one from the back. So what you see in this room right now, we call this our academic press day. And so we have these days periodically through the term, and it brings all the students together. So what you're actually seeing is about 120 grade 8s who have come together. They're all working on their own inquiry, in their small groups, but they're doing it in this one common space. And the reason we do it in this common space is because it really builds a sense of community. It gives a real sense of purpose to what they're doing. They're able to interact with different groups with each other. We've got the teachers who teach these classes here to help them move them along to the next stage. And it just creates a real buzz.
You'd be able to go in and see like what the before was like, right? Because you saw it was all ripped out. Can you imagine that? Going back and think.
What are they turning into?
I think they're turning it into a hotel.
You're doing the abandoned subway station, right?
Yeah.
And we're going on Friday
Yeah.
to see that?
Wait, is this Friday?
Yes, the PA day.
Oh. So tell us to come to school.
Right, so we're going to meet Miss Kirk and go down to it because she's arranged to have a special tour of it. Do you have any ideas yet of what you're going to put there?
Cultural restaurant.
A cultural restaurant and a museum? What culture?
That multicultural. We've been doing like surveys on this, like what ethical background are you?
Oh, okay.
So like we know
Did you do an online survey or you did a in person?
both.
Both?
We're gonna print it off and then put it online.
Okay, great. What are you working on today?
Maps. For
The maps?
Geog.
Okay,
It's not
great.
loading.
So Friday we're going down though,
Yeah.
right? Okay, great.
When it loads, it'll say Dundas. Go to base map.
As I've been walking around the room, I've been able to see my students acting as architects, acting as mathematicians, statisticians, acting as urban planners, because each of the groups is redesigning a space in Toronto and they are bringing in a lot of components into that. This design that they're doing, it's authentic, it's relevant, it's engaging, it's their community. This is, urban education at its best because they are redesigning Toronto, and so they want to be on task and learning in this time. It's loud, it's noisy, there's a lot going on here. And as you switch from a classroom of compliance to a classroom of engagement, you have to be prepared to let go of that. And that's where we are at this stage in our school, is that we want to take these risks. We want to see what will happen when we bring them together like this. It wasn't easy to get to this point with the teachers. They needed to let go of some of the conditions that they might have set in place in their classroom. So we do a lot of work on accountable talk, a lot of preparation with the students about who are you accountable to and why are you accountable? Because at the end of the day, they're responsible for their own learning.